To commemorate Mental Health Awareness Month last year, recording artist Elohim released her album Brain Dead. The songs deal with different aspects of mental health issues, things she herself has had to deal with. Katrina Gay is standing by with her now.
Hi, I am
Hi.
so beyond thrilled to be here talking with you today. My very favorite petite Yaya is what I will call you. That's a subject of endearment. Um,
Oh,
I've been a big fan of yours, and also we've managed to do some work together over time. Thank you for joining us today.
thank you so much for having me. I'm so
Yeah,
happy to be here.
yeah, and I do want to just say, as you know, I was set to go to your show in Nashville where I live.
Oh, yeah.
The day, that night before your show, or the day before your show, the tornado hit and destroyed the venue. And then COVID hit. So it was just like this bam bam for you, and you were beginning this amazing experience with your tour group
Yeah.
therapy. You've been such a pioneering advocate for mental health from the very beginning, before it was even, just something you were one of the first to start talking about it, and now so many others are. So thank you for that, setting
Thanks.
trailblazing
Thank you.
for us. So I'm going to turn it over to you and just find out. Last time I talked to you was about a month ago.
Yeah.
And I have you been busy? How have you been staying busy? I know you've been a little busy.
Yeah.
I read you in Rolling Stone
Thank you.
yesterday. So tell me a little bit about what you've been up to.
Yeah, so I started making music, which was really exciting for me because I kind of got home from the start of my tour, and it was a lot of sadness and heartbreak and just unknown, which I think brought fear and different feelings that, maybe I hadn't experienced before. And I got home and I didn't necessarily want to make music. I wanted to just kind of sulk in the sadness and, be on the couch and not move. And I knew that was okay for a little while, but I knew that at some point I had to turn my train of thought around and turn this into a positive situation as much as I could. And so then I decided to, okay, I'm going to start making music, even if it's nothing. I went into it with just the idea of this doesn't need to be anything other than sort of a cathartic experience for me and a way for me to cope with these feelings. It doesn't ever have to come out. So there was no pressure. And then I made this song called Vacuum. And
Mhm.
I think the next week, one of my dear, dear friends, an artist named Eden, who's from Dublin, he messaged me and was like, hey, would you want to be a part of this compilation that I'm putting out through my label that I started? And I was like, I have the perfect song. I actually made it in quarantine. And so that kind of sparked my creativity. And then on the visual side of things, we've been working really hard on that and staying as creative as possible, because that's kind of what keeps us feeling okay and keeps us feeling motivated, not just in our career, but as a human being, motivated to want to keep going and feel like you have purpose. So staying creative has been a blessing for sure.
And so, are you finding it easier to connect to the creative community? I've been watching some of you that I know, and watching how you're cross pollinating with one another in different ways. What is that like? And how important do you think it is to connect with others in the creative community right now?
I think it's so, so, so important. It's an interesting time because, when my tour got canceled and I'm playing smaller rooms, at the same time, people playing arenas were also getting canceled. So everyone was kind of equals. No one's able to play shows. No one's able to play festivals right now. We're all in the same boat, no matter how big or small of an artist you are. So that's kind of an interesting and I think humbling situation for a lot of people, which is cool because in return, I think it just brings people together more. I think always those sort of humbling situations bring people together and put everyone on the same playing field, which I think is, as a human being, I think that's really important, and why the listeners of my music have become my friends because I think we're equals. I don't think that I'm better than them at all. If anything, like, I think I learn more from them than they do from me. So yeah, I think it's super important, the creative community, and also just friendship, family. It's such an important time to connect because also everybody's kind of going through this in their own way right now, and it's kind of a way for everybody to connect.
And tell me about vacuum.
So vacuum.
First of all, what a tough word to spell. I mean, I
know. It's funny you say that because I made it at home, and so then sending it off to one of the amazing engineers that I work with to mix it, he sent it back and it was spelled wrong. And I think when I sent it to him, it was spelled wrong. Then finally we got it right. I was so nervous that on Spotify was going to come out and be spelled wrong. But yeah, I mean, that song is so special to me because there's something really beautiful about going into a creative environment and process and really having no process and having it be this free thing that you're really just making to get stuff out of your brain. And, I had finished my album already at the beginning of the year, and, I gave myself 2 months to finish the rest of it. And then I was going on tour, and I was going to be doing festivals and touring the rest of the year. So it's interesting. I think that's kind of why I was like, I don't want to make music, but making this in a different kind of way, this will probably never come out. It was very freeing for me, and it was really, really fun to make. So it holds a special place in my heart because it kind of ignited the creativity in me during this time.
Yeah. So what kind of advice do you have for some of your fans? I'm going to call them fan friends, because you have a real community.
Yeah.
And what are you seeing in that community, and what kind of conversations are you seeing that kind of encourage you through this time of, just this real quarantine time?
The conversations, sorry, did you say the conversations?
Yeah.
The conversations I'm seeing, it seems like there's a lot more love in an interesting way. And I think it is because something like, tragedy and sickness, I think the silver lining, it's so horrible and so scary, but the silver lining is it kind of brings everybody back down to earth. And so I think there's this, and I think it brings more empathy. And I think empathy is a really beautiful thing. At times, I think I have too much of it. And I know a lot of my friends that I've met through music feel the same way because, that sort of is very triggering. Mm-hmm. But I think, all around, it feels like the conversation is more empathetic and it feels like there's more love.
So what does that look like when you say there's more empathy? So it sounds like you're encouraged.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a interesting thing right now, because we're all kind of thinking about the negative of our situation. So I'm just curious about how you've managed to flip this.
I honestly think, I know it's funny. I was on a phone call 2 days ago, and the person I was on the phone with was like, "Wow, you're so positive right now." And I was like, I'm really grateful to be positive because last week I didn't feel this way. Last week I was just in this sort of depressive, didn't want to talk to anybody, but every day feels different and every week feels different. And this week I've been feeling very optimistic. I'm turning this time. We never have time. That's the one thing we don't have, especially when you're touring and, trying to put shows together and getting to the next festival. It's like the thing we never have is time. And the thing we have right now is time. And it's, we're always wishing for more time, and we kind of got that. So I think right now, it's very easy to sit around, watch the news. And I think it's really important to be aware of all of that and to be empathetic and to have your moments of that. But also we have to take this time to, do positive things, whether that's for charity or something for the world, helping others, putting together meals for people. Mm-hmm. Or for me, what works for me is creativity. You know, I've been really putting all of that into creativity and, you know, taking advantage of the time, because it's not always going to be like this, of course, you know.
So as you look to like winding through these next months, you know, I'm hearing that some days are better than others, or that some days are different than other days. Maybe it's not better or worse, they're just different. And so as we wrap up, any advice that you want to give to the young people who are listening about, and who may, you know, maybe not have found us as good a creative space as you have? Any last words for them?
I think the first step is kind of always the hardest. I even got a trainer on FaceTime during this time, and I was always so nervous to do that and to go work out, because, you know, simple things for me sends me down these panic holes, and then I just end up staying home because it's like, you know, there's all these reasons why I shouldn't, and then I just end up not doing it. And so the first step, I think, is always kind of the most difficult. So whether that's, you know, starting a new book, or going for a walk, or going for a run, or, you know, going to play tennis, which I really enjoy, or writing a song, you know, baking something, it's always kind of like the first step. And I think finding that also, I mean, my friends have been my saving graces during this time. So I think just staying connected is so important right now, because a lot of people are going through this, and it's okay to not feel okay, especially right now, you know. I think accepting that and knowing it's a weird time for everybody. And it's kind of the first time where we really aren't alone. A lot of people are going through exactly what we're going through. So yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of a strange comfort. Well, personally, it's just delightful to see you again and talk with you.
Oh, you too.
And on behalf of Nami too, thank you for everything that you do, and
Thank
for
you so
the
much.
Smarter Than You Think team. We appreciate your time today, and keep up the
Thank you
good
so
work.
much.
And for those of you who are listening who haven't checked out the Ron Stone article, Google it and check it out. This is one amazing woman, and I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
All right.
Hi, my name is Elohim, and this song is called TV. I look up, depressed as fuck. I wanna sit around and tell you how it sucks, how it's hard to walk with spaghetti legs, and a mind that's freaking out about the world we're in. I feel like quicksand, sucking me down to my last limb. I'm at the bottom of the ocean and I can't swim. I'm at the bottom of the ocean and I might just quit. I keep the TV on to drown out the sound. My mind is way too loud, my mind's way too loud. I keep the TV on to drown out the sound. My mind is way too loud, my mind's way too loud. Shh. Feeling sick again. I try to stop the voices in my head, holding on tight while my room spins. Take a deep breath as the fear sets in. I love distractions, taking my mind off of life, cause everything about it makes me anxious. Every single day I try to cope with it. I keep the TV on to drown out the sound. My mind is way too loud, my mind's way too loud. I keep the TV on to drown out the sound. My mind is way too loud, my mind's way too loud. I'm afraid to sleep, I don't wanna dream. Keep the lights on for me, keep the lights on for me. I'm afraid to sleep, I don't wanna dream. Keep the lights on for me, keep the lights on. Alright, I'm gonna scream this next part, so don't get scared. 2, 3, hey. I keep the TV on to drown out the sound. My mind is way too loud, my mind's way too loud. you.